we've got Shane. Now, the Shane documentary, we had talked about it in the previous episode, and I give Shane all the credit in the world. I mean, this guy has pioneered a new form of content on YouTube, okay? And he's got this incredible fan base, and
the numbers are just like
unprecedented.
Something I've never seen.
I mean, unbelievable.
It has like
10 to 20 million.
It has
per
like
episode.
a tweet that has 600,000 likes on a tweet.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, it's wild. So, I mean, obviously, hats off to the guy. He's a friend of the show, even though he betrayed me. After all we've been through. Okay, cut. We're not yet. We'll get there. Yeah, not yet. Let's at least get into it a little bit before the Papa Father.
Podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I'm reliving the memory of that great betrayal. Anyway, so he goes on, as we touched on in the last episode, that Shane starts exploring this theory. What if Logan is the sociopath and Jake is living in the shadow of Logan, the sociopath?
And it kind of took a weird turn where it just all became about who's a sociopath and like.
Well, the next episode was him sitting for like 40 or 50 minutes with a therapist, and super dramatic, kind of just really dramatic, kind of trying to diagnose him. And anyway, Logan Paul made a response video, and I mean, a lot of people have been criticizing Shane for his kind of the way that he's been trying to diagnose him.
Because he does this funny editing that's him and his editor are really good at.
Yeah.
Where they create this like horror.
They create an atmosphere and tension, and the editing is very good.
They're good at it, but it's like you're also talking about something serious.
You're talking about a real person. You're talking about mental health, and we know it's Jake Paul and Logan Paul, which are like the two,
It's kind of
Tweedledee
weird,
and Tweedledum
weird
of
combo.
YouTube. But regardless, I'm not even trying to make a serious point about Shane. I'm not here to refute or talk about any. Logan Paul made a response video, and it's given us all here one of the best gems that have ever come across this platform. And so this to me was what was most important to share with you guys. I'll let Logan speak for himself. Now, he goes on the record, and he actually says, I'm not a sociopath, but I do have sociopathic tendencies, which is interesting. It sounds like he's been diagnosed the way he talks about it, because he's very knowledgeable, and he goes, you're not either a sociopath or not a sociopath. It's a sliding scale, and some people have more sociopathic tendencies than others. But he goes on to say something that really resonated with me and made me really understand what he meant by that. So I'll share it with you guys now.
Considered sociopathic. Mark Jobs. Nope. Steve Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs. A lot of people, especially YouTubers, and Shane touched on this, you can't just say like, you're a sociopath. The word I would like to use is sociopathic tendencies. So a lot of us, me included, will do some dumb shit, maybe some stuff that lacks empathy strictly for views, right? It gets us views, which gets us subscribers. Our motivating factor is to reach the next level. Sociopath is boiled down someone who is just more savage than everyone else. I know it sounds...
So that's it. I mean, that's pretty much a clinical definition of sociopath. Somebody who is more savage than everybody else. And I thank Logan for that definition, and I'm just happy that that's in the world. Logan Paul saying it's just someone that's more savage than everybody else.
Double dab.
Double dab will do ya.
Motivating factor is to reach the next level. Sociopath is boiled down someone who is just more savage than everyone else. I know it sounds...
I have trouble with that. I'm having trouble with that comparison.
Because he's always making it cool for his fans, because they're always like, savage.
Yeah, that's what... So, savage means cool, right? In his world.
Yeah.
So, a sociopath...
I think.
A.K.a. antisocial personality disorder, which is someone that lacks empathy. Someone who has a... I mean, again, I'm not going to... Generally, it's not... I wouldn't call it savage necessarily. you know.
Are you sure?
Maybe a psycho, and then
Ethan, did you go to psychology school?
I am not a trained professional.
Because I don't know, savage sounds to me.
It does sound very clinical.
Clinical.
Yeah, that it sounds like something you'd hear in a classroom. This whole argument, though, that between him and Shane, like, it's just, I feel like we shouldn't be, this whole thing about self-diagnosing, and I feel like even Logan's definition is wrong, because I was trying to read about it online and educate myself a little bit before I came and did this podcast, and apparently sociopathy isn't even a clinical term. The real clinical term is antisocial personality disorder, and it's just this whole messy thing. I don't like that. It's just, I don't know, but...
Everyone now is just Googling and self-diagnosing.
Yeah, and like... But anyway, Logan's defending himself. He does make a lot of good points in here. But a sociopath is basically someone that's more savage. So,
Good, bro.
Gotta add that to the wiki page.
yeah, essentially, we need to add that to the clinical definition of... but it's someone that lacks empathy, someone that's very manipulative, someone that doesn't... I mean, they lack empathy. They cannot relate with human emotions, so it enables them to do more callous things that many of us will not feel comfortable doing from an empathetic standpoint. And so I guess that would make them literally more savage. And a psychopath, which is a problem, Shane kept saying a sociopath and a psychopath are the same thing, and implying...
I don't think he said it's the same thing, but he wasn't very clean about it. Like, he kept mixing them up at some point.
Yeah.
Which is what Logan...
Well, he would say sociopath, and then he would show psychopath on the screen and, like, someone with a knife. So I was reading about this, trying to figure out what is the difference. So actually, all psychopaths are sociopaths, but a psychopath is a more severe... version of a sociopath. They tend to be more violent, they tend to be more criminal, and they tend to be more ruthless. A sociopath can still have bonds with like family members and strong friends, but random people that they meet on the street, they do not have any empathy for at all. So there is a distinction, but this implication that they're all, you know, creepy murderers is not true. But at any rate, that's that. Then there was a part at the end of Shane's new. I'm checking out on this documentary.
Honestly, it's so long too.
It's a lot, but this part made me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. So he's teasing. This one's called "The Enemies of Jake Paul," and he is teasing in the next episode. This therapist that he sat down with is gonna go undercover as a producer secretly. They're not gonna tell Jake Paul so that she can study him all day. And make a diagnosis of him. That seems kind of unethical. It's just, I mean, so here it is. I mean, the whole thing is making me uncomfortable, honestly.
Come up with a plan because.
But Shane does acknowledge that. I mean, he knows that it's weird.
But he's still gonna do it.
He's still gonna do it. But anyway, here it is.
A therapist with us, and she's there the whole time. I don't think he's going to be like himself. I don't think he's going to be comfortable. I think he's going to be kind of fake. So I came up with a plan. And it sounds really shady. And I've never done anything like this before. The plan is I'm going to have Katie, the therapist, pretend to be our producer. And she's going to be with us the whole day, watching, listening, analyzing.
I love this shot. Watch this.
Body language.
How she's just staring at her, like the corner of her eye. Like that's how she makes her diagnosis. Like this is her all day. I just love the image of this therapist with them all day like this. Just looking at the side of her vision at them. Anyway. It's strange. I don't know, man. This shit's strange. Like, I mean, so here you go.
What he's like when the camera turns off. And then throughout the day, she's going to kind of take me in another room. So Jake will have no idea. And then we'll go into the other room and I'll just be like, how's it going? What do you think? Well, first of all, let me say this. Jake specifically has told me.
So there you go. I don't know. It's feeling weird and like.
I feel like it's unnecessary because if she went, like, Jake would still be himself over a long day, you know, if they're at his house.
Well,
like you'll put on a show for like 5 minutes, but eventually it'll be himself.
A sociopath apparently is capable and well aware of the facade that they put on.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what I read is that a psychopath, so a sociopath generally is more messy in how they present themselves to the world, but a psychopath is extremely efficient, that they can have a mask up all the time,
Like,
even
yeah.
under stress and duress, so that they never let their guard down.
Yeah.
So it is one of the attributes.
It's just,
But that being said, I
that's
really
all
don't
so
think
serious. Like,
I really don't think Jake is a sociopath.
we're just
And
talking about Jake Paul.
yeah, the thing is, he didn't really need this whole angle. I would have been interested in just when a really sincere look into Jake Paul's life. Like, I don't
Just
know why
spend the
they
day
needed,
with him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know that we needed this really dramatic
Mm-hmm.
angle of sociopathy.
Yeah.
You know, PewDiePie made a video about it. He made some good points about it. A really
Yeah.
long video. But he was like, when they were talking about sociopathy, him and the therapist were saying that it was like icky and gross.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. What do I know? But it's getting bizarre. It's a wild ride, man. This is some wild new territory here.
People are loving it.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's Jake Paul, so it's hard for anyone to be like. It's very difficult
choose
to ever
Jake's
take
side,
Jake
yeah.
or Logan's side. Like, Logan made a very reasonable response to Shane's video, and it has like 50%.
Surprisingly, yeah, he
downvotes.
did.
Like, I was feeling kind of bad that, like, here,
Sounds
like
stupid,
the
but
downvotes is like 130,000 down, and he didn't really say anything worthy of a downvote, personally, in my opinion. But hey, that's the world we live in. That's the tube we tube in, eh? So I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. It seems unethical, but I'm gonna watch the fuck out of it. Yeah.